Hello, guys. I am sitting here braiding my daughter's hair. Boom. But I wanted to come and talk to you guys today about self-expression. You guys know that I'm a poetess. You know, I'm a writer. I'm a self-published author. I've written 17 books. I just love it. I've written devotional books, poetry books, all sorts of stuff, short stories. And one thing I have learned about self-expression since I've been doing poetry and poetry contests since I was 5 years old is that it's very important for you to express yourself in a colorful and a beautiful way that's personalized and original to you. Now, what I've noticed, not only in just the art form, but in the everyday life form, because I'm also interested in psychology, if you can't express yourself without throwing shade, inducing fear, inducing obligation, like people are obligated to you, or guilt, you might need to go be quiet, close your mouth, and then go ask the higher power or whatever you believe in for clarity. I'm sorry, my kids. See, expressing stuff. Okay, no, but if you can't have a conversation, if you can't get through a sentence, whether that's talking to loved ones or whoever at the job, right? And then social media, you have private social media or public, doesn't matter. If you can't get through the day, I'm gonna say a conversation. You know your own life. And it's not counting if you're upset or angry because people do make mistakes and people do say stuff. But what I mean is if that's your communication style, it'll become unbecoming and it's unfriendly and it's unwelcoming to people. If you're always throwing shade about any and everything, you can't talk about the weather without throwing shade. We're at the bus stop, example. If we're standing at the bus stop and then I'm like, ooh, it's so hot outside, man. I should have wore some shorts. I have yoga pants on, which I do wear yoga pants a lot when I go out. I have yoga pants on. And then you're standing there, instead of you being able to have a cordial conversation with a stranger, maybe an acquaintance, someone you see often, while we're at the bus stop, you have to throw shade and say, I don't know about you wearing those shorts because like you got some cankles going on. Those yoga pants hide your cankles though, but it is hot. So you're trying to act like you're relating, but you're still throwing shade. It's uncouth and it's impolite. Okay. So that's what I've been teaching my kids about, but preteens. All right. Or if you're inducing fear. That's another thing that we learned as far as I'm an African American. I mix with other things, but I'm predominantly African American. We've learned from our parents and our parents' parents, grandparents, and our parenting styles is to induce fear. So that's one of the things that us as 80s babies, 90s babies, 2000 babies, we have, a little bit harder time breaking. You know what I mean? And it can be broken. It's not going to happen overnight, but it can be broken. Give yourself some grace and some space, because when you give yourself grace and space, hopefully others will give that to you as well. But if you're having an issue with that in your parenting, with inducing fear, we're going to have to kind of try to stop that. Now, they do have to respect you and hear you, but if you're always inducing fear about anything, they're like, Mom, I want some ice cream off the ice cream truck. Now, I remember last time you had the ice cream on the ice cream truck and you almost choked yourself. Like, you're inducing fear. And if you do that again, I'm going to beat you. You're inducing fear. Or obligation that you're inducing obligation. Oh my goodness, girl. Ooh, child, I need to get my hair done. And another person. I need to get my hair done too. After all of the stuff that I do for you, and what you're thinking about is you getting your hair done, that's a little obligation and guilt. I'm trying to make you feel guilty, and I want to make you feel obligated to me. That's entitlement. Nobody owes you anything, right? And if they're not your cup of tea, move on. All right. But throwing shade, being petty, trying to induce fear, obligation, and guilt, when you keep doing that, that starts to make you look like a miserable person in your communication style. And you may not be a miserable person. You may really enjoy your life. But it's the way that you're communicating, okay, that's unbelievable. Nobody's going to believe you when you're saying you're full of joy and you're always throwing shade. You're always fearful or inducing fear, or people are obligated to you, or they should feel guilty. Like, relax. Notice I said fear, obligation, and guilt. That's fog. People feel like they're in the fog when they're around you. They don't see no clear. They don't see themselves clear. They don't see you clearly or the situation clearly. Nobody wants to be around pessimistic people. You know what I mean? And if that continues to be a communication style for you on a psychological level, it's important to get therapy, because the therapist can help you be able to work out some of those thoughts, those old traumas and pains, that unhealed, this underlying competitiveness, or this, Unrequited love situations or romantic systems, or as far as you didn't have enough when you were a child, and now you always, when you as a business, listen, let's bring it down a notch. And if you need some help, there's nothing wrong with it. I did therapy for 15 years. I had a wonderful therapist. She was great. So there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with going back. And I'm not saying that you just take it and you're done. Or if you need a friend or a family, a personal friend in your circle, right? Because you can't, vent at your job. It's inappropriate. You can, but it's, or out on social media. So it's better to kind of go to people that care about you and talk to them about certain things. And then go to your higher power and say, am I seeing things correctly? Why am I always throwing shade? Why do I want people to feel fear around me? I don't want them to have faith or be relaxed around. Why do I want them to feel obligated to me? But then I'll turn around and tell them I'm not obligated to do anything for you. It's hypocritical. Why do I want them to feel guilty about around me? But I'm guilt free. Right? So that begins to create a double standard and to make you look like a hypocrite. And so I am going to be working on my believability. And then if anyone have you been engaging with people that are communicating like that? They can bait you. They'll try to bait you because it comes from a place of, I don't know, escapism or misery within them, boredom. For some of them, they could be boredom, or some of them, they could be secretly attracted to you. You'd be surprised. People have their reasons. I'm sorry, guys. I was trying to look at that. That's really getting on my nerves. Oh, my God. I did when we got off here. But people have their reasons, why they communicate with you like this. I would suggest cut them off, block them. And if you have to deal with them, sidestep any of their baiting. Just sidestep it. If they throwing shade, and it's going to make you look like a pushover. If you have to assert yourself and it's safe, because some situations it's not safe to assert yourself, then assert yourself. But if it's not really no big deal, I mean, why would you care about somebody's opinion that's walking around like that anyway? You know what I mean? It could be a boss. I've dealt with bosses like that's crazy. It could be a professor at college. It could be one of your own parents. Or it could even be your spouse, believe it or not. They can get stuck in a rut. So, we want to give people grace. And sometimes grace is just us not saying anything and just choosing to focus on the positive and to focus on the glass being half full. You're alive. You're breathing. It's a beautiful day. You woke up today. You probably had some good food. May not have been what you wanted to eat, but you had some food. You have people that love you. You might have some pets. You know what I mean? If you have a job, you have a job. There's something to be grateful for. You can work your hands. Okay, you can breathe on your own. Some people don't breathe the machine. You can work your legs, If you gain a little weight, you can still try to lose some weight. If you're skinny, you can still try to gain some weight. So whatever we don't like or whatever we're discontent with, let's try to be content and say, it's all good. Okay? So that's a good thing. You kind of focus on those things. And then the other things are people become an afterthought. So if them throwing shade, it's like, well, I'm alive. Right? Well, I can move my hands. You know what I mean? That type of thing. When they might throw shade at your marriage. Got me a husband. I love him. Tried to throw shade at you being single. I'm single. I learned about myself. I'm healing. And then keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy your day, guys. It's a free Friday. It's also a Freaky Friday. You guys know I love Freaky Friday. If I was in a relationship, you understand? Give your man a lap dance or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Take a shower with them. Get them some fellatio in the shower. Make them a nice dessert. Some chocolate-covered strawberries. That's a fun thing to do. And it's cost-effective. Okay? It's cost-effective. Go for a walk in the park. Take a bike ride. Have your fun. You got to work. Hope you have a good day at work. Don't listen to those customers, your clients, the patients, because I worked in the medical field. They can be a little, irritating. Or even your coworkers, Silence it. Kill that noise. Kill that noise of that, shade and that fear, obligation to give. Or even your negative self-talk. You might talk to yourself like that. And that's where people that struggle with depression or anxiety and stuff come from, negative self-talk. And then competing with random strangers. That's where that comes from. Because you're talking yourself into stuff that's not. So we're all guilty of it. You can just say to yourself, hey, shut up. We're going to focus on the positive. Okay? And then watch what you're looking with your eyes, what you're listening to, and what you're saying out your mouth. Shh. Shut your mouth. I'm going to shut mine. Okay? And I'm going to ask the Most High to help me to shut mine. But you guys have a wonderful day. Enjoy your Freaky Friday. Okay? Close your mouth if you got a man to put it on something else. We don't want to hear what you got to say. We don't want to hear it. Go take your mouth and go use it to um, pour into your marriage. You know what I'm saying? Pour into your man. Or if you don't have it, use your mouth maybe today just to say what you're thankful for. I'm thankful for warm socks. Thankful that for the sun. Thankful for the trees outside. They help us to produce air. I'm thankful that the pandemic is over with. Thankful these kids about to go back to school. Thankful that I'm black. I mean, you could keep going on and on, you know. So have a good day, okay?